Hi, this is Jennifer from SimpleScrapper.com, and this is your weekly pep talk. So this week, I want to talk a little bit about growing and stretching yourself as a scrapbooker. In previous videos, I've talked a little bit about how it's important to work within your comfort zone so that you can do your best work and feel excited and productive. Because a lot of times what happens if you spend all of your time trying to do new things, that's when you can get frustrated and uncomfortable and maybe not like the results. But there's a flip side to that. When you do push your boundaries and you take on challenges and you do things that are outside of your comfort zone just a little bit at a time, it can stretch you and help you grow and become a stronger scrapbooker. So that's what I want to talk about today. And I have 4 layouts that I've done recently for our July premium membership here at Simple Scrapper. And I want to share those layouts with you and help you see how I'm trying to stretch myself by trying one little new thing in each of these pages. Okay, so we'll start with this one. And I'm not going to tell you too much about how I did the layout. I'm just going to focus on what's the one new thing that I did that was special. So this is an 8.5 by 11 layout. And on this one, I used a stencil, a mask, to create a painted element on the background. And so what I had done is I had actually used this on another layout to do the circles. I had put a paint dauber over it and I had rubbed it around and created these little circles on another layout. And so then there was all this paint left on the stencil. So I picked it up, plopped it on this piece of cardstock, and created this pattern in the background. And then saved it for a time when I wanted a scrapbook, and I created this page with it. And so using paint and wet media in general is something that I don't normally do. And I wanted to kind of try that and stretch myself a little bit by seeing, can I create visual interest in my background by doing painting? Okay, now here's another layout. And on this one, this is actually the one where I'd use those circles first. You can barely see it here. I'll tilt it, maybe that'll help. There's white circles painted on the background, and that's what I did when I started that layout. But in this one, the thing that I did for the first time in, forever, was sew on my layout. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with sewing on layouts because I don't always know the settings to use on my machine, but I decided to just throw it in there and see what happened. And I really love how I sewed across the thickers here, and it helps them stay on the page. And so sewing is something that I want to try to do more of because it adds just that really nice little texture to the page. It makes it interesting. Now this one definitely is a stretch for me. It's just kind of a funny layout. It's kind of bright and bold for me. But what I did is I was really trying to experiment with putting photos on angles. You know, if you've ever seen most of my layouts before, I love things to be very aligned. I love grids. I'm very left brain when it comes to design, but I wanted to practice a little bit on doing, moving photos off the page and also putting them at angles. And I really like how this composition turned out. I don't like all of my color choices here. It is a little bit bold and bright for me, but I do like how there's a lot of movement on the page because of the angles. And finally, I did this layout, and this is kind of a culmination of all of my recent interest in trying to stretch myself with challenges. I did 3 different things in this layout that are totally atypical for me. The first thing that I did is I had created this black and white painted background. And then I did cover it up with vellum so that it would be a little more muted. But I just took black paint and put these broad strokes on the background. I also journaled directly on the background with a gold Sharpie marker. And I used a chunky embellishment. These little clips, these bobby pins with the crystals are super cute, but they're so thick. And so it's totally not my normal style to use such a thick chunky embellishment on my page. So this is kind of very much a stretch layout for me, but I really like the result. And so as I've been working on these pages, and some others as well recently, I've been trying to stretch myself to try new things that are more creative, a little riskier, and I'm really liking what's happening. I'm finding that my layouts are more interesting, they're a little more fun to create, and it's stretching me to try new things and to kind of grow my scrapbooking repertoire. Now I'm definitely going to fall back on my comfort zone to create the bones of my layouts and to create really strong foundations that I'm comfortable with and using the styles of things that I'm comfortable with. But these different techniques can make it more enjoyable to be a scrapbooker and make my layouts even better. So this week, I really want to encourage you to try one new thing, just one, on your next layout that's a little bit of a stretch for you, that's a little bit uncomfortable, that challenges you. And then I want you to come back and report back here in the comments and let me know how it went. I hope you have a good week. The Weekly Pep Talk is brought to you by Everyday Storyteller 2, a new idea book with 33 more practical ideas from real-world scrapbookers. Get your copy at everydaystoryteller.com.